Hello viewers and welcome to my new video. Today's video is another part of the series on how to be in a band, in which I reveal some sort of behind the scenes, tricks, tips, recommendations, my own experiences from being in bands for many years. Today's episode is about money. Okay, so this is really important. It's a really key aspect, because even if you are not specifically putting a band together to make money or whatever, you just want to have a bit of fun, perform, that kind of thing, money is important. In the end of the day, it's what makes the world go round, right? That's what people say. You need money to be able to get to places. You need money to be able to order some merch. You need money to make CDs or vinyls or whatever that might be. You need money to get to a gig. You need money to have a mode of transportation, such as a car or a band van or whatever, that kind of thing. Equipment costs money, doesn't it? All your instruments, amps, picks, strings, drums, sticks, everything really. If you want to do kind of promotional activities, that kind of thing, and some people don't pay, and I didn't, to be honest. I've never really paid for any paid promotion on Facebook or social media, but some bands do. They go into that and kind of pay for advertisements, things like that. So your marketing, promotional stuff might cost you some money as well. That kind of thing. If you are going in a studio, and even if you are recording things by yourself in your own studio, you need to equip it, right? So you need to buy software, hardware, things like that to be able to do that. If you go to someone else's studio, you need to pay for their time. You need to pay for studio time. If you go to a mixing engineer or after that a mastering engineer, you need to pay them for their time. So all these things add up. And one more thing I forgot, which I already mentioned in one of these other videos, is about rehearsal rooms. So again, if you want to hire a rehearsal room for a time or whatever, again, you need to pay for that. So as you can see, there are a lot of costs associated with being a musician or being in a band, or even being a solo artist for that matter. And that's why it's so important that between yourselves as band members, you agree very early on how the money is going to be generated. So that's the first important thing, right? So how are you going to generate these funds for the band that will allow you then to do the things that you really want to do, right? One of the approaches might be the very old school approach, that you basically all agree on an amount, a week or a month, that you all kind of contribute. You basically chip in together into a band's pot. Yeah, so effectively, when it comes then to, you want to get some t-shirts made, for example, and that kind of thing, and sell them at gigs, you already have some money put aside towards that. And the same goes for all these other things like I described earlier. So if you want to go to a studio to record your EP or record your album or that kind of thing, if you put money outside regularly, then it won't feel as such a great financial hit to you when it comes to the actual paying for it. Yeah, so it's things like that you might actually agree between yourselves, that you want to put some money aside every week or every month, and that way you will be able to afford to purchase these other band related things. Another idea might be that you may have to take some loans, even from a bank. I know bands on the DIY scene that, for example, one of the band members, have used their credit card or that kind of thing in order to finance something, like a recording or a purchase of a van, and then the other band members sort of chipped in and sort of they maybe paid that off, helped him to pay that off in installments, that kind of thing, so that's another approach that you may want to take if you want to get something and you need something right now and you cannot wait, to kind of slowly build that fund. It's good to have an idea about how to generate money also through other ways. So effectively chipping in is really good at the beginning and also throughout, the band's duration. But then I suppose you need to start thinking about, what are other ways. So for example, how can we make some profit on our investment? So for example, if you say you are going to be buying some t-shirts or patches or badges or that kind of stuff, and then obviously selling them, say at gigs or wherever on your website or wherever that might be, at a profit, and that way you're just going to start slowly seeing some kind of return on it. Like you then may be able to generate enough money from those sales to then fund more, purchasing of more merch, or perhaps help you with your touring or that kind of thing. The same goes for your releases. So if you release an album or an EP or whatever that might be, and you actually sell physical copies, obviously always make sure that you kind of charge more than it actually costs you to produce, because that way, and it's not just about the cost of producing something, it's not just a physical manufacturing cost, it's the cost that goes into everything, so like I said before, so buying your equipment, buying your strings even, and also your creativity, so you basically, by selling your product, by selling something that you've done, you don't just sell a physical CD or a physical vinyl or that kind of thing, because if you did that with silence on it, or there was nothing there, or no artwork on the cover, then I suppose it's not worth that much. But what you do is you add value to these things by it's your uniqueness, I suppose, because your band is unique, and what you've done and what you've produced is that sort of adds value to this actual physical item that then try to sell. So it's important to have it planned, and have a little bit of an idea about how you're going to be managing your money, how you're going to be generating revenue through your band. It's not always easy, I'm not saying that it is, because I've been in bands previously where we were perhaps losing money even, or hardly broke even maybe on certain things. Well, it's like with, say, planning a tour. If you go on tour, and even if it is a small DIY tour, you need to think about ways in which you can save money, so in order to sort of break even, hopefully, or maybe even make some profit out of it. So for example, when you travel, you need to be looking at different options of transportation, looking at which are the cheaper option, which option would save you actually more money. Same when it comes to accommodation. I was lucky enough that when I played in bands previously, because of the ethos, I suppose, of the DIY scene, we always managed to get a sleeping place, either at the promoters accommodation, or we would maybe, I don't know, play at a squat or somewhere like that, and we would basically get a bed to sleep in, and then we would get also like breakfast in the morning, things. So again, food, that's another cost, that's another add-on to your expenses when you're on tour. So if you can get fed by other people, then again that sort of really helps. It's also important to agree who is going to be the band's accountant, so to speak, because obviously usually it's not everybody, you don't split these duties, usually it falls onto one person. So obviously the best way is to give it to somebody who's trustworthy, and obviously you know that they are well organized, they can keep on top of things, and actually actually be able to even keep record of everything that's going out and coming in, so that way you can actually understand your sort of financial position within the band, and whether that's actually going up or down or staying at the same level. I hope this video will help you in your own band, or if you're just starting your sort of journey as a band or as an artist, or even if you already had some experiences. It's important to look after and manage your money and funding of your project. So if that's been helpful, please give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel as well and hit that bell, so that way you will get notified every time I post a new video. And also please leave me a comment about your own experiences about managing money within the band, and I'll see you next time.